All right, this is going to be procedures 1 through 6 for IED Activity 1 through 4. The first couple steps we got going on here are going to have us go ahead and create a new file and to draw a rectangle. I'm going to suggest doing a rectangle and use a new type of rectangle called center rectangle. This is going to draw the rectangle, and I chose the origin point, but it has the construction lines we're going to need later on already put into it. So go ahead and enter your length and your width, and we have our rectangle. Going down to procedure number 5 already, we're going to start adding a couple shapes. We're going to add some pentagons on here, and polygons, I'm sorry. We're going to add some polygons, and we're going to use all 3 different types of polygon tools. So we're going to start off with the first one. First one should be in the upper left-hand quadrant somewhere. We get to go ahead and type in our radius, which is 0.35 inches. And then number sides, this is going to be the pentagon, so it has 5 sides. And right now, it doesn't matter which way we point it. We'll come back and fix that later. So boom, there is my pentagon. In part B, number 5, we need to put our hexagon. And we're going to go down here and choose the middle one, the inscribed polygon. And I'm going to go ahead and this time I'll put it on our construction line. You notice my mouse changes into an X, and that means I am locked onto that diagonal construction line. We're going to have a radius here, and number of sides is going to be 6 for a hexagon, and there is my hexagon. Last shape we're going to add here is a equilateral triangle. So again, we're going to go to our polygon tool, and we're going to go down and use the edge polygon. And we should be down here in the lower right-hand quadrant for this one. We're just going to go ahead and click. We're going to give it some sort of measurement, and I believe 1.25 is the measurement they give us. And then all we need to do is to click a second time. And now put in the number of sides and hit the enter key, and boom, I got myself a triangle. Going on through procedure number 6, that is where we start constraining this, so we have to look at A through G's. The first one says we need to center the pentagon on the vertical line. All right, so we don't have a vertical line here, so we want to put a vertical line in. So we're going to choose line, we're going to turn on construction, and we are going to put from midpoint to midpoint, so therefore it is a center line. And we can turn off construction and exit the tool. So now I'm going to use my either coincident or my vertical horizontal constraint. So I'm going to use coincident. I'm going to coincident center of that to there. And one side, this is part B, one side of pentagon is horizontal and located a dimension above the center point. So what I want to do now is use my vertical horizontal. I'm going to make that so my pentagon is basically pointing up. And then I'm going to go ahead and use a dimension tool. And I'm going to dimension from that side to my origin point and type in the dimension they give us. And now my pentagon is located. Part C says one side of the hexagon is parallel with the 6-inch side of the rectangle. So I'm going to use my parallel command, and I'm going to choose that line and that line. Boom. My hexagon is now parallel with one of the 6-inch sides of my rectangle. That is C. D, the center of the hexagon, is coincident with the diagonal of the rectangle. Well, we already did that when I made it on this point. So that is already there. The center of the hexagon is 0.5 inches below the top side of the rectangle. So we are going to add a dimension and go from the center to the top line and say 0.5. And now it has moved into position. One vertex of the equilateral triangle is coincident with the corner of the rectangle. So we are going to use our coincident constraint and go from one point of my triangle to the bottom corner. The center point of the equilateral triangle is coincident with the diagonal. So we're going to, again, coincident to our diagonal construction line. And same thing, I'm still going to use coincident command. I want to go midpoint to my line, and boom, all 3 objects are now constrained where they're supposed to be. There is going to be a reflection question here talking about our pentagon and the fact that it is not fully constrained. The hexagon and the triangle are fully constrained. And go ahead and answer the reflection question about that.